Cloverpit. You start off this game in a New York apartment, and you have to gamble to pay off your debts. Every time you reach your deadline, you get a call.
Hello?
99% of gamblers quit before a big win.
So the phone gives you a choice between 3 permanent modifiers, which you can pair up with Lucky Charms. Not the cereal, but they're these stupid little wacky things that I'll explain later. Just know that my favorite one is this jar of piss. If you wave it around before you spin, it makes all the piss-colored symbols trigger twice. Woo! The amount of dopamine I'm getting right now has got me feeling like Johnny the Slot Scraper. Scrape that shit, Johnny! Boom! So you might be asking, what happens if you don't win big?
No. Wait.
So long, gay Bowser. I'd like to imagine it drops you into another room, but instead of a slot machine, you have to play League of Legends, which is honestly worse than traditional gambling because in League, you have to gamble whether or not you get a deranged lunatic on your team. But let's rewind back to the main point of this video. About a week ago, when I first beat the game, I got curious. Just how much money could you make in the limited rounds they give you? 2.8 quadrillion? What the hell? There's no way I could beat that, I thought. But it turns out they use something called save scumming. The way it works is if your Lucky Clover shop or the phone choices aren't perfect, you can Alt F4 the game, and when you load back in, they'll be randomized again. So by doing this over and over, this person crafted quite possibly the most perfect run you could get. But what's the record without using an exploit? Enter Grumpisode, the man who has the record. I've spent every waking moment of the last 7 days trying to beat. In the description of his video, he says he's played for 155 hours. I knew this wasn't going to be easy. But I'm a devout student of Vegas Math, and I even have 2 real-life Lucky Charms that I could use to my advantage. So join me on my journey to defeat Grumpisode and claim the throne of the Cloverpit demo.
Let's go gambling! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it! Aw, dang it!
So this here was my best run on the 3rd day of playing. At this point in time, I thought I was Albert Einstein and I'd cracked the formula for the MAXWIN. Everything was lining up perfectly. I got 2 Clover vouchers back to back and the Golden 7, which actually was a really good charm. But this early in the game, it was like trying to hit a home run, but your bat is made out of cardboard. But by some miracle, I got super lucky and managed to hit a triple Gold 7 hit on my 3rd spin. Next, I found cat food in the shop, which I bought because it distracts the slot machine and lets you spin 2 extra times while it munches on the kibble. Here I hit some massive coins and made some good money for round 2. And my next shop only made things better. Another freaking Clover voucher. My adrenaline was pumping, and in this moment, my numb dopamine receptors were firing like a well-oiled machine for the first time in years.
This is the run, this is the run, this is the run, this is the run. We've gotten so many tickets. It's so good.
I activated the 7 picture I just got and started looking for those Golden 7s. I needed them like SpongeBob needed water in that one episode where he was in Sandy's dome. Now we got 2 Golden 7 hits and I was pretty happy, and since I had quite a bit of money, I rolled the shop for extra tickets and charms before I went to the next deadline. The phone is ringing, the phone will be right there. There's a gambler in trouble, there's a gambler in trouble, there's a gambler in trouble, it will be right there.
7s! Oh my god. Oh, this is the run. This is the run. Oh my god. Okay, don't throw. Just play it slow. Play chill.
Right after telling myself not to throw, I forgot to press the button and activate the 7 picture. So there's a very good chance I missed out on a bunch of Golden 7s this round, but the show goes on. I started rolling the charm shop, got some tickets, and after thinking about it, I grabbed the golden amulet and went back to work. And this next round went pretty crazy with the golds, got a lucky amulet trigger, and we got 1,500 coins. We were pretty rich. So rich, we can roll a charm shop a bunch. And oh my god, watching this back hurts so much. I just want to yell through my screen at my old self and stop me from buying anything else because we're about to get the freaking megaphone. Oh, Japangu, the megaphone's not that important, right? Surely we don't need the megaphone that much to win, right? Wrong. The megaphone is the most important part of maximizing the game. Without it, beating Grumpisode is impossible. You know, in this run, I was still young, rash, and naive. Even now, while I watch my footage back, I'm still figuring out new strategies. But in the moment, I was having the time of my life. Anyways, to finish off the setup I would use for almost the rest of the run, I'd gotten that jar of salty lemonade and the nuclear button. Now, the nuclear button combos with the 7 picture and the jar to make them activate twice, meaning we would get +4 to manifesting the 7s, and you already know what the salty lemonade does. So now, we were simply spinning for golden 7s, stacking up our symbol value, rolling our shop for tickets, and honestly anything that looks good to us that might pop up. Next, I deposited my doubloons in the ATM, and I went to the next deadline. You know what that means. Time for another phone call. Unfortunately though, we didn't have any tickets to re-roll the phone, but the one I chose halves the chances for lemons and cherries, so that's pretty good. Now, since the next bunch of rounds are basically the same thing, I'm just gonna quickly go over them. I kept stacking up the 7s and the pentacle, which I forgot to explain. So this charm permanently increases your symbol multiplier anytime you trigger 5 lines or more in a spin. Because our piss jar with the nuclear button make the 7s hit 3 times, we only need to trigger 2 lines to activate the pentacle. Also, the piss jar only has 1 use per deadline, but you can recharge it from buying a battery in the charm shop, so after every single round it's really important to buy one. Now on to the next deadline. I'll slow it down here for the phone call, because I unknowingly rolled past the increased charm space, which would have been so good here, but instead I chose to triple the 7 value, which I didn't realize at the time was bad, because I still had 6 rounds of spins left, and my 7 value wasn't that high yet, so tripling it doesn't actually do that much here. I'm not gonna lie. The potential for this run was astronomically large. Now that I'm watching it back, I can't stop thinking how stupid I was during this. But I eventually figured it out, because at the end of this deadline, I had made 14 million coins, so I rolled my shop a bunch, and finally bought a megaphone. Woo, he figured it out on the last deadline, yeah! Now the only issue was that I had very few tickets, and there were a lot of really bad things that I could get on the next phone call. But I got lucky.
Okay. Oh, okay. 7s manifest more often permanently. Here we go. Boom. Okay, so now we just got that doubled. Which puts us okay. 34% base without the button. Whew, okay.
So with the +2 to manifesting 7s, I tried to roll for as many golden ones as I could get my grimy hands on. And after those 2 rounds, it was time for the moment of truth. Time to switch out the charms and maximize the profits.
Alright everybody, we have 1 round left to go for the absolute max win. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to get rid of the button. Okay, we sell the golden 7, because we already stacked it up. We get shrooms, get rid of this, get rid of this. If a lucky charm triggers during a spin. Oh wait, no, that's just a symbols multiplier. Okay, then we need stain as well. I think we go for cat food actually. Oh, pattern multiplier. Oh, but this is so bad. It doesn't do anything for us. Oh right. We need to get the battery. Oh, there's a pattern multiplier. Do we risk going for the rerolls for the special nuclear button? I'm too scared. I don't want to. Okay, we have stain. We have mushroom. We have this. I'm so nervous. Okay. 7 spins, or 9 spins actually. Push the button, 53%. Okay. Here we go. First spin. Okay. Okay, we activate the shrooms, we activate the stain. Oh my god! 2 million a hit! This is insane. We're at 380 million. 500 million? Can we hit 1 billion? Come on. Come on. Please. Okay, last spin. We need a full screen. Come on. Full screen. Oh, so close. How much? How much? How much? We did it. We freaking did it. Oh my god. 3.3141 billion coins. Oh, plus 155. Now I just need to find a bug that can turn this into real money in my Steam wallet.
Let's go gambling!
Now that my personal best was 3 billion, I finally had a taste of the big money you could make in this game. But I knew I could do much better, and I was really optimistic of beating that score of 379 billion. But I had no idea just how hard it was going to be. I spent hours resetting and having really bad runs, like this one Clover run, where it was actually going pretty good, but I couldn't find a battery to recharge my jar charm, so I reset without spinning the last run out of frustration. But eventually, I got another good run, and this one was actually able to beat my personal best by quite a lot, and I was honestly pretty happy with it. It started off pretty normal, but the difference this time is that I bought the Raging Capitalist. Turns out this Humpty Dumpty son of a bitch was actually pretty crucial to most of my runs going forward. What it does is it gives a chance for the symbols to have a little ticket attached to it, similar to the golden symbols, but you get a clover ticket every trigger. I got 1 ticket from a cherry symbol and ended the round with a total of 3, which I used to buy a red and green pepper. Then we went back to the machine and hit a sweet little cherry jackpot with a ticket on one of them, which triggered 5 friggin' times, baby. Next I rolled through the charm shop, went next deadline, picked up the phone, and I actually clicked double the lemon and cherry value? What am I doing? And the worst part is right after taking that, my next shop had a megaphone. And the one thing I didn't realize at the time is that I could just wait to choose the phone call option until I bought the megaphone so we could double it later. Anyways, I farmed a bunch of tickets, went to the next deadline, and this next phone call was actually pretty good. It had the option to activate both of the other options, which would half the chance to hit a bunch of the other symbols besides clovers and bells. So I picked it and decided to pivot into playing for bells, but the rest of the run was pretty self-explanatory. I got my usual charms, stacked up the gold bells, stacked up the pentacle. The only notable things that happened was the next phone calls, which was +1 to manifesting bells, and then the one after was increasing the 3 symbol patterns, I think, by their base value. So I think they went from 1x to 4x. And then we arrived on the last round to claim my new personal best.
1 round left. Here we go. Let's see what we can get from our bell run. Push the button. Let's do this. What are we looking at now? The multipliers are going up. Whew. Oh, we're at 2 billion and our multipliers. Oh, if we hit a jackpot, it could be winnable. Please! Oh my god, it was so close. No. What is that? Oh! 20 billion.
With a new PB of 20 billion, the gap between my decent runs are hours and hours apart. Like this 4 billion run that came probably 7 hours later. And then another 4 hours after that, I finally hit another PB. I'm not going to go in depth into these next PBs that I hit, just because I really want to get to the final run. So this one was a nice big Clover win. I had gotten the megaphone on the first deadline, and got some good phone calls. I got 2 ambitious modifiers on my charms by the end, and honestly, as far as the Clover symbol goes, I think I took it almost as far as you could go without save scumming. There's definitely some room for improvement, and you know, you could probably get a little luckier. Either way, it was a really good run that set my new high score of 44 billion, baby. This game was really starting to push me to my breaking point. I had been playing for hours and hours on end, every single day. Surely I had the best strategy by now, right? But I still couldn't beat Grumpisode. The stars just wouldn't line up for me. What if they were super lucky by getting their score in only 155 hours of playing? What if I would have to play twice as long just to reach it? These were questions that kept going through my mind, filling up my head with smoke and doubts, until this run. It was almost perfect. I'd gotten the megaphone buffed phone calls and 2 ambitious charms giving me a 3x pattern multiplier. I had an over 50x symbol multiplier and my 7 value was going crazy. It was finally time, I thought. This was my second to last round and I was already raking it in. It was too much winning. So much winning I might have even gotten tired of winning. Boom! 160 billion. I could taste the victory. All I needed was this last round to hit big, and I would finally beat Grumpisode. I rolled my charms around a bit and decided on this final build. It all came down to this. And it was happening. 7s after 7s, my shrooms and stain were stacking like crazy, my adrenaline pumping, the numbers were going up and up, then boom, dead spin. But maybe I could still pull it off. So I pulled the lever for my last spin, and it was over. 225 billion. Only 155 billion off my goal. It was gut-wrenching. But at the same time, I was more motivated than ever. Restart after restart, I was hungry for it. I played more than any of the previous days. You can say it was just a stupid game demo, but for an entire week, this was my life. And finally, after 7 days, the run you've all been waiting for. I was dialed in this run. After all my previous failures, I now had the knowledge that allowed me to play with full confidence. Let's skip to round 3. I've got 5 lucky charms, and I decide to go for 3 spins because I'll need the 2 tickets if I want to buy any ticket vouchers after this. 1 spin left, and I'm far from the 45 coins I need for deadline. Then boom! Jackpot! 1,600 whopping doubloons, and we are still on the first deadline. I roll for ticket vouchers, find 1, then I find the Raging Capitalist. We have an absolutely beautiful setup here. All we need is to get lucky with the tickets and find the megaphone. We only get 1 ticket symbol in 7 spins. It's rough. But then while rolling the shop, I find 2 ticket vouchers. I decide to go for a green pepper and shrooms. Then I roll and find the megaphone. Now it's time to spin and pray for 7 tickets. I wasn't getting a single one, and I was losing hope. But on my last spin, I get a beautiful jackpot! I made 6 tickets, so all I needed was to sell my green pepper, and now we've got the megaphone, baby! But when I pick up the phone, our call choices were looking bad, so we needed some more tickets to re-roll it. I was luckily able to get 6 tickets, and I rolled my phone, and it gave me the perfect option. Now we just needed the golden 7, the jar, and the picture. I had a near perfect build going into the 3rd deadline, but I now had my first hard decision to make. Do I take the phone call now, or do I play around for more tickets to re-roll it? I decided to go for the tickets. Then I did a little charm shopping and we finally rolled the phone call. And we rolled one of the best things we could freaking get, baby! We get half the chance for all those stupid symbols and make more room for our 7s. It was absolutely perfect. All we had to do now was stack these suckers up like it was nobody's business. Every single gold symbol and ticket had me tasting the incoming victory more and more. I bought a battery and simply rinsed and repeated. And before I paid my debt, I did some ambitious charm hunting, and I found a golden horseshoe with the modifier. I swapped out my pentacle for it, and we won't be able to get use out of the horseshoe until we get the coin amulet. But it's okay, because after we went to the next deadline, I rerolled the phone call until I found the increased charm slot space. Now we had room to squeeze in the coin amulet. Then I looked for the nuclear button and went back to spinning. I think my dopamine receptors are fried at this point, because this triple jackpot I hit was making me feel absolutely nothing. Now for the last round of this deadline, and I couldn't find a battery, so I had to sell my nuclear button and jar of PP, but I grabbed Stain in the toy train and got it over with. But hey, it's time for our final phone call. And would you look at that? I instantly took the 777 value. I decided to cut the stacking here and instead use all 3 of the last rounds to make as much money as possible. So I got the jar back, got the tarot cards, Cloverpit, and finally the button. Now it was time to make that money. It was all going good, and I was stacking it up, until we hit an unlucky 666, which makes us lose all the previous money we earned in the round. But just maybe this was us getting the bad luck out of the way before the next 2 rounds, which were much more important. So I ended this round with 1.5 billion coins, and I went for the ballsy approach of selling all my non-ambitious charms. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a single ambitious charm here, and I can't roll the shop too much because we still need room to buy batteries. But it was now time for our second to last round of the run. We needed these spins to win big. I wanted to make up most of the score needed to beat Grumpisode here. We were stacking our shrooms and Stain, and the coin amulet was treating us good and activating so much for us. And with my last spin, we made a total whopping 140 billion coins. With the charm shop getting quite expensive, I rolled as much as I could and swapped out the tarot deck for cat food so we'd have more spins. Unfortunately, I didn't find a single ambitious charm, but there's nothing I could do about it. I could not afford any more rerolls. So with our 7 value at 20,000, and a symbol multiplier of 62x, and a 2x pattern multiplier, it wasn't quite perfect, but it was doable. The only thing left now was to spin. I pressed that red button and I cranked that lever like my life depended on it. Now, in order to maximize our win, we needed every single spin to hit at least 1 line of 7s, and so far, it was doing just that. My heart was pounding, and we almost had a bad spin. But luckily, we hit a line of coins and my Stain and Shrooms still activated. Each spin, the numbers got higher and higher. And on my third to last spin, I made 280 billion. And combined with the 140 billion I got from my last round, I've already beaten Grumpisode's score. At long last, I've done it. As far as I know, I have claimed the world record for the highest score in the Cloverpit demo without exploding. A total of 564 billion and 530 million coins. Your time is up at the top, Grumpisode. While you were out partying, I was studying the sluts.